Hello everyone, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to talk about my work with you today. I'm passionate about reaching underserved communities, so I target schools that rate highly on the Welsh Index of Multiple Deprivation. These areas have low science capital and high deprivation. Many of these pupils come from multiple generations of non-working families on benefits. I look at schools that have free school meal percentages above 20%. The majority of the schools that I work with have an average of 40%, but some are as high as 80%. I also work with out-of-mainstream education groups, such as pupil referral units and learning pathway centres. I spend a lot of time writing grant applications because without funding, these schools just wouldn't have access to my workshops. I have various workshops to offer. One of the most popular is our rocket workshop. We look at the history from 10th century fireworks to modern SpaceX rockets. We also look at the science, including forces and shapes involved. Pupils then design and make their own rockets using paper. Then we launch them outside in the schoolyard with an air-powered compressor. After the launch, we do some maths to try to estimate the altitude that each rocket has made. Most of my workshops involve hands-on activities. So for our astronaut workshop, we start off with a presentation all about astronauts, including the training and life on board the International Space Station. We then do hands-on activities such as a large moon puzzle, which is really good for observations. We also use a jigsaw where the pupils have to wear gloves to complete. And we also look at how we can stay healthy by looking at the colour of our urine. But don't worry, we don't actually use real urine. The pupils make urine samples using red and yellow food colouring. We also construct a tower using Jenga blocks and a plastic claw. For our Mission to Mars workshops, we look at all aspects of Mars, including Mars's geology. Pupils then are split into groups and they make craters with marbles of different sizes and different weights, and then they measure the diameter and depth of their craters. We also look at soil samples, do a little bit of chemistry using litmus paper, and they make volcanoes using vinegar and bicarbonate of soda. They then use plasticine for each eruption they make to represent the different layers to show how a volcano structure is formed. I also provide 3D space shows where we turn school halls into 3D cinemas, and pupils are always excited when asteroids, planets, stars and galaxies are coming towards them. Over the years, I've worked at a number of festivals where our workshops are really popular, and some festivals I go to year after year. But when COVID hit, it was a stressful time for everyone. But I honestly thought that I would lose my business when schools and festivals cancelled. But luckily, Zoom saved the day, and I was able to provide my workshops to festivals and school hubs online. Now I'm back in the classroom, I have noticed various issues and consequences due to pupils losing so much school time. There is a clear divide between those pupils who had parental support and access to resources at home and those pupils that didn't. Some pupils didn't have electronic items such as laptops and tablets. They didn't even have a pencil to do their homework. And if they can't do their homework, then they can't get marked. And if they can't get marked, they fall behind. And obviously, this is detrimental to them. We also noticed that numeracy and literacy standards are well below those expected for their year group. Unfortunately, if pupils can't read or write, then they can't access other topics in the curriculum, such as science. We also found that pupils' lack of ability to focus and concentrate caused them to be disruptive, and this affected other pupils' learning experience. It was also difficult to keep the pupils engaged. We also noticed that because the pupils were getting frustrated, there was a rise in offensive language and, in some cases, physical violence. Teachers' comments agreed with what we found. They found that pupil skills across the board has definitely dropped, including their social skills. This could possibly be evidence for lack of interaction during lockdown. We also noticed that anxiety levels have heightened in many pupils, getting upset very easily. So I realised that I had to reevaluate my workshops. So we tried to focus on well-being and the pupils having a sense of achievement and pride in their work. So I've collaborated with Professor Helen Mason from Cambridge University on the Sunspace Art Project. Helen is a solar physicist and a keen artist. So she's put together a team of scientists and artists from all over the country to create a cross-curricular workshop. Christabel works with shadow puppets. Geraldine uses the medium of dance for quantum mechanics, where pupils move as atoms depending on temperature. Teachers are then able to develop science, technology, engineering, art and math activities in their schools. I work with Sarah Bridgeland here in Wales. Sarah works with paper, cutting out magazines and old books and newspapers to create 3D collages, pop-up cards, and 3D boxes. So we use this in our workshops. But we noticed that pupils were sitting on their materials and hiding their materials because they wanted to take them home because they've never had these resources at home. So we put together individual packs with lots of resources in the packs in order for the pupils to use in their schoolwork and to use at home as well. And this workshop has been so popular that we actually won an Arthur C. Clarke Award in 2020 for outstanding educational outreach. Another workshop that I collaborate with Swansea University, which is led by Dr. Sarah Roberts, is the Stardust Hunters Workshop. This is funded by Science Technologies Facilities Council. And for this workshop, pupils learn all about asteroids, meteors, meteorites, and micrometeorites. The children then go outside in their schoolyard searching for these tiny particles that have fallen from space. These particles are then sent off to Swansea University, where students use an electron microscope and an X-ray diffraction machine to analyse the samples found. And if the school has found micrometeorites, then they will be part of a scientific paper. My most recent workshop that I've been funded for is our Space T-shirts workshop. For this workshop, we look at various topics on space, from stars being born, to stars dying, to galaxies, and to the cosmic web of the universe. Depending on what topic inspired them, the pupils then create their own space T-shirts using fabric paints. I'm lucky to be funded by a variety of space companies who support my workshop. But STFC has been fantastic in not only funding my projects, but providing fantastic resources for the children. These include pens, pencils, colouring pencils, pencil sharpeners, activity sheets, and booklets. These resources not only help pupils in school, but they also help them at home to be able to complete their homework. I've always had positive feedback from my workshops, and I'm always thrilled to receive thank you cards from my pupils. Please feel free to ask me any questions. Thank you.